This broadcast is inappropriate for all ages. Right here on the house that Kamurai built. Let's get this party started, as I am Kamurai. And with any luck, we have sound this week. That was a privilege we did without last week. And between Ustream and Firetalk, I'm getting a lot of sass coming out of the browser. So bear with me just a moment while we experiment. Oh, that's my face. Oh, wow. I should check my makeup beforehand. You know? Make sure that it's nice and pretty. Like I care. I'm all scruffy and everything. Yeah, a lot of fucks we're not given this week. I'm just telling you. And, it says... I should check my makeup. There we go. So, we do have sound. It was proven. Now, however... for whatever reason, I cannot see my Firetalk, but I can... Can I see the chat in Firetalk? There's the chat. It says I'm a viewer, but I can't see it. I'm experimenting with Firetalk this week, so we're going to go through a little bit of this right now. Can I just hit enter? Hopefully that doesn't change my RTMP. That shouldn't. That'd be really strange if it did. I am currently on air, as it says. So why are you asking me how I want to broadcast? Am I on Firetalk or not? Jesus. So if what if I log out? Will that let me see it? I am currently on air, as it says. So why are you asking me how I want to broadcast? Why is there no volume? Oh jeez. Okay, so suffice to say that I am on there. Firetalk, you're beautiful. You look pretty. I'll give you that. You need to work on your dance steps a little bit. I think that's the way to phrase that one. But we're gonna start playing with this. It says I'm live. It takes me back to my profile. I can see viewers, and I can see live chat. I can see channel info. I can hide channel info. I can't see the video while I'm recording, which is strange. And if I try to watch it natively, then I can't mute it. So you can't do true checks here, and I hate that, like, you as the viewer can hear it when I go to check it. Maybe I just haven't got good enough yet. I was gonna do you now as well, but they do something fucking weird. Like, they don't even use RTMP, so I can't use OBS. But all I really want is my overlay. Whoops, wrong way. So I won't have this, and I won't have this. If I do that right away, and I'm using Minicam anyways, because when you use multiple OBSs, they need different feeds. And the only time I've done this before, I did it with my Surface. I've done it several times. I've actually done it on twitch.tv/Kamurai25, which is actually over there. When I streamed Super Dungeon Explorer, I used 2 cameras off the Surface, that poor little thing. But it worked out really well. So as long as you have multiple, or a source per camera, virtual camera, it's fine. Minicam actually lets you do multiple, so I'm actually using Minicam to split my camera off. Now, one thing I did not remember to look at when I was looking at Firetalk was the quality. Now, it's just me and my ugly face, so there's not a whole lot going on. I don't even have cats fighting in the background. So I can't tell if the quality is truly the 1080p that it says it is. Because if I remember correctly, I am not downing my stream at all. I don't know if it'll let me even look at the broadcast settings. What's it called? Video. Downscaling, that's the word. Oh, I am downscaling. I am downscaling 1 below 1080p. Am I doing that on both of these? I am not. On Ustream, I am technically not downscaling. which is impressive, which is the one I can see without you hearing it. So let me go ahead and... Oh, and even if I update the settings now, it won't do it. So Firetalk, I'm not as pretty as I could be. But like I was saying, YouNow, like, I can use the native streamer on YouNow, which would be fine, because it's technically, I think, what I'm doing for Firetalk, except it's letting me hook OBS directly up to it. That's not true. I'm still using an encoder to send data to the servers. But YouNow requires that it go through the browser one way or the other. So I'm going to have to look at Minicam and how to get an overlay. And they have built-in overlays, but it's under effects. So I've got to change it from a .png to whatever they want. And I got to make sure I do that right. And I just didn't have the time. So maybe next week we'll play with YouNow. And then that'll let me change my overlay as well. So I can add my Instagram. So what I'll probably do is I'll do Twitter and Instagram. I'll probably do them over here. And then I'll do everything else up there, all the live streamy stuff. It's like 4 things, and that was a noise that usually means someone's trying to get a hold of me because I forgot to put my phone on quiet, because I'm a pro like that. So this week has been very busy. With my rousing 40 minutes last week, I'm sure you heard enough because we didn't have sound. But if you can lip read, more power to you. I was not in the mood to redo any of that. And usually when I do this, it's all the brain dump. It's all to get it out of my head and just talk about whatever. What was I going to say? So that was that. And then this week, it's really just been trying to pile things in, and like since I talked about it on Gaming Division, played some Super Dungeon Explorer this weekend. That took up some significant time, but I love it. Gaming is... I've always said gaming is the equivalent of making out. It can get more serious sometimes, but like it's just as good most of the time. And it makes you very discerning about who you do it with. Cat, I'm going to kill you if you keep moving my wires. You're fluffy, too. You'll make a nice hat. So, it's... And I have a new friend who works far too much and carries several crazy responsibilities. So, like... I get her during her downtime where she's decompressing, but oh my god, it really makes me feel like I don't do enough, and I don't do enough important stuff. Let me say that, because I'm doing stuff all the time, and usually when I'm doing something, I've got something on in the background. Wow, you cannot jump, you fat little kitty. It does not help that you were trying to fight one of the other cats in midair, you dumb thing. I'll go ahead and share this real quick, and then I'll move the camera back. Hold on, Tux. Jesus. I've got a kitty in the laundry basket, and then I'll see if I can't do this. And then there's a kitty on the ground, and she jumped up and tried to swipe at the kitty that was up here. I'm piecing this together from what little I gleaned, because and current house behaviors. Black's been getting feisty, and I don't understand. I think it's because she's getting picked on by the bigger kitties, but yeah, I see you up there. You don't get camera time this week. So, like, okay, so it kind of makes me feel like I should be doing more important stuff. The amount of work that she does, and it's good work, she's an educator, but I'm struggling for things to do at my place. They're underutilizing me. I hate the job. I hate the state that I'm living in. Like, I'm on the edge of begging to... I'm basically begging to be fired, honestly. If we're being completely honest about the world and the state of affairs, that's kind of where I'm at. And I'm not really in the best of places to do that. But I think that would instigate a pack up and move to Austin. But there would be other things I have to manage too, and but it's been a lot of game design stuff this week, and getting together and talking with people, artists I'm contracting with, Friends that I'm coordinating, designing more of the games with. Buddy of mine is learning some programming. He's starting with like JavaScript, and some people would argue that that's not real programming, but he's getting the basics, and he's learning GML some. I've walked him through a couple things, and so he's gonna try helping me out with Gamebox here and there, which between tonight and tomorrow I have to get that test on 7.0 done. He's supposed to be doing the 6. We'll see. We'll see. I just can't have a broken version in between. It'll screw with the entire flow. And it all came down to trying to upgrade from 8.1 to GameMaker Studio. It's insane how hard that was, because it literally went like a year and a half. There was a whole 6 months period where I figured it out, and then I left it, and then something was broken, and I didn't realize it was just asking for an integer instead of a string. And then that led to another year of rewriting the damn thing and breaking it and fixing it over and over again. That's what it feels like anyways. It may have been less, but it took long enough that game design carried on, and 7.0 and 8.0 are ready. Like 7.0 needs to be tested, and 6.0 is still broken. So we need to get a manageable version of 6 operational and out, and then I can immediately go to 7, and then we can go to 8, because the data for 8 is already there. So I just need the art assets, and then the menu options essentially, and then apply all that. So that'll be fun. I'm behind on all these RPG shows. All the traveling killed me, not only in finances, plus new investments. That's great that those are working out really well too, by the way. And then time-wise, so I'm still catching up. I'm almost there for that, but hopefully after I get off of here, don't throw up in my laundry basket. Get out of the laundry basket if you're going to throw up. I swear. Okay, she's settled down. I'm so sorry. I couldn't look away. It's just like, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? So oh man. Blub 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 blub. So yeah, so I get all that applied, and it shouldn't take that long to actually apply. Oh, Gamebox, and then bad summaries. I should be after this be able to film a couple before we go and live tweet tonight. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun. No Brandon though, which makes me sad because I think he's gonna end up being late if we start on time at all. What we'll probably end up doing, honestly, is delay a half hour, which I know isn't enough time. Because if he's got a D&D thing until 10, yeah, he's not going to be available till 22:30 Central, and then that's like midnight 30 here. What? And it's an hour and a half, so that means I would be up till 2 in the morning. If they want to get rid of me, this may be the opportunity to shake me on one. But I don't know. Typically, I enjoy doing that with them. I feel like it was me, Amanda, and Brandon, and then Donkey. Donkey's been there for a while. But like we were the 3 consistent ones, and then Donkey missed a couple, I think. But he's been there He's been there a lot. And then like Mark would jump in when he was available. Elizabeth would jump in occasionally, but usually they were late if they jumped in. And now they're more consistent. And then Melanie has joined us a little bit back. I think about the same time that she actually joined Heroes of Awesome, because the show is still behind. It's not current yet. I don't know if we're catching up or not. Probably. I don't know. We can hope. But eventually, we'll get there. And so that'll be fun things. But I've been trying to learn database connection with through JavaScript, and you can't theoretically you can't do it directly through JavaScript. You can. I found an example, but everyone says not to do it that way. So part of me is like, well, we're going to do it that way, and then we're going to find the right way to do it, and we're going to do both. Because the whole project's academic. But I got fed up with the classic ASP and trying to get it all, because it's too much unfamiliar tech at once. So I skipped past Java to look at classic ASP, and then I went from classic ASP to Perl because I hate myself. So I was like, oh, let's see what these assholes have to say. Because if you know anything about programming, the Perl assholes are the biggest jerks like ever. And everything's written is condescending. It all assumes that you should know 5 years experience for even the most basic stuff. And it's literally like the getting started with Perl tutorials are written as if you have 2 years experience. It's like, no. Start at the beginning, explain everything on a high level. I don't need to know how the data gets parsed. Just give me instructions. Give me an example. Show me how to make that example. Like I just learned modules this past week. Because before I was doing everything in individual scripts, and I was having it do script, which let me individualize and reuse some things, but not a lot. So, given my website structure, it was just a lot of files, and so now that with the modules, I can put all those in the modules as subroutines, and then that cuts my files by a fourth at least. So that's nice. It's very nice to deal with. It's much easier to update and correct things that way, because it was kind of a bitch last time I went through to update something or add a page or whatever, and it was a problem. And now also too, when I'm referencing from the original Perl script for the page, because with the way I'm doing it with CGI bin in Perl script, is that there is a SHTML page that calls a Perl script page, which I think is typically the right the layout, and then the layout calls the relative functions based on the inputs from the SHTML page. So as long as the SHTML page is configured to pass all the pathways to the layout, it's all good. It works out pretty well. And my site's not good looking at all, but it's functional, and eventually I will get all this database nonsense working. I've got it going well enough for JSF and JSP, but I think the trick is going to have to be going to the ASP.NET, like the MVC, the web form, the web applications, and doing it through there, and then backtracking that out to the generic ASP.NET and the classic ASP sites, and then maybe based on that I'll have enough to maybe do the JavaScript site, and then PHP and basic HTML. And I don't think you can actually do it in basic HTML. I think that is what basic HTML is that you can't do that sort of thing. So I will have to find another way, or just not, because I think ultimately there will be a difference in all the sites. The other big thing being, I just had it. PHP. I think I can condense the PSP pages more as well. I think I'm using subroutines. I could be wrong, but if I'm not, I definitely should condense that as well, because it should be fairly easy. I think I've already got layout pages, so I can just have the individual web page feed to a custom thing for the local level, and then I can determine it based on page number. So that'll give me less files to manage for PHP as well. I really like PHP. I think it's definitely the most elegant. I have fun every time I deal with it. I like Perl, because Perl makes me want to claw my eyes out. Oi! Oi! You're playing with the door. I always get nervous when they use the door as a toy, because nightmare scenarios is that they lock themselves in places. That's fun. Okay, let's see. Do I have any other points? Writing. Let's talk about writing real quick, because that's the next big thing. Because I'm actually fairly happy that most of the simple... okay, so... Let me back up just a minute here. So the latest games that we're working on, we're going to put in GameBox for free play testing or whatever. They're part of what I'm going to end up calling the Simple Games Suite, HTKB Simple Games Suite. I think Battle Princes is going to be the flagship there, and then Monster Office Workplace, Sacred Offering, The Way, Conversion, and Conspiratorium. So 6-game suite. So once we get those out there and we get those play testing and we fine-tune whatever issues that we have with it, I think that's going to be what lets us either do a more professional program and or send it to print. What I would like to do is, based off the virtual play testing, is send it to print and let that be a big caveat. Be like, look, we have a game. You can play with stub assets here on GameBox. Here's how you do that. And then from there, like, we'll have physical copies of the game that we could sell. I don't expect to do a lot of business with that. But... business-wise, I could probably package them together and be like, look, it's $50 or it's $60, $10 a game. You buy it all in one thing, and hope to make a bunch of money off of that. But I think the more realistic offer is to be able to go $10 individual games, or however price we set it. So there we go. Okay, so we are back live on both Ustream and Firetalk. My computer just stopped working, so that's what that was. So I get to edit this together and render it and to send it to YouTube, because that's where things archive. And so at the very best, that puts me waiting. It's going to render overnight, and then it'll upload to YouTube in the morning. That's what I feel about that. But because it's really nice when I can just export from Ustream over to YouTube and just be done with it. I don't mind editing. I actually like editing for the most part, but I've got other things I want to edit and do, and if an unplanned edit is going to mess with things, and I swear to God, I want to throw you right now. You were the fluffiest, most needy little cat ever. Even that one's not so bad. Look, she's just back there taking a bath. Usually she's like right here on my left, like just, and she's looking at like, oh, do we get attention now? But she just hangs out here to my left and waits to get pets when I can spare her a moment or two. And I'm not sure what she's all excited about. The cats do that weird thing where they look at stuff you can't see. So there's that. Tux, you can't play with the mouse. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen, my friend. So okay, that way I can see both the chats. Not that anyone uses it. Yeah, so I did have a friend tell me through Facebook that they couldn't hear me last week, and then it's like, you could have told me that. It would have saved me a half hour. Okay, so basically my point was with the Simple Game Suite is that we have options. And I've got one other project that I want to follow that up. Hopefully, it won't take another year to get to that one, started. But there's a lot of art that would have to happen for that one. I don't know what this cat's doing, but there is a lot of art that would have to happen for that one, and not to mention some basic writing, and then a campaign has to be interspersed so that I can translate the campaign into writing. And that's what I think I'm looking forward to most. But I need Soda Pop Miniatures to pull their head out of their ass and send me my fucking models. Because I paid for them. My order's just waiting. And then there's the new models that they're going to release later, and I've got to try to account for those. And I don't fucking want to do that either, so... but I think I know how to handle that one, so that's not going to be as big a deal. Yeah, so this has been sufficiently useless to wait here for this to fucking cat is on drugs. Wait for that to reboot. I can't believe it. I do have to hit up a lovely young lady about why we give small children one of the most dangerous animals ever as a stuffed toy. Bears is what I meant. Though, granted, hippos are the most dangerous animals on the planet. But that just may be population density versus state of living versus proximity. We just don't have a lot of animals that can hunt us down and kill us that live anywhere near where people are most of the time in North America. Surprised there's not more stories out of South America. But I guess those are people getting killed who live in like villages that don't have internet and things like that. So apparently I have a house full of crazy cats. So I will go. Until you see me next time, I am Kamurai. Have a nice day.